Welcome to an out-of-the-box print and play of the week. This is the print and play that I've been playing this week. It is Do Not Go Gentle. This is a work in progress by Martin G as his submission, one of his submissions to the Board Game Geek game design competition. It is a solo player game, and I am going to go through a bit of an overview, then we'll do a setup and we'll play a couple of rounds. It is a worker placement game, and so you have workers and you place them and you take actions. It is a post-apocalyptic, basically you're building a camp here, and then raiders are going to come in and raid your property at the end of a number of rounds. There are 6 rounds that you have to survive. There's a lot of tokens in this build. As you build different when you place your workers, you get to get resources which you can then spend to improve your defenses. So there's like barrier tokens, there's weapons, you can get med packs, you can get food, otherwise you get hungry. There is also a town aspect where you can go and scavenge, and there's a whole lot of scavenge decks that you can go through, but you have to be a bit careful because there's marauders in there as well that can ambush you. But you might find some new characters, and if you find new characters, then you get more people to place more items, which makes it very exciting. You start off with some basic weapons shop, a farm, and what's the third one? The third one's a workshop, and you can upgrade them. So these cards are double-sided, and if you've got 2 meeples on them in a turn, you can then double-side them and then build even better things later on. You take damage. If you take 3 damage, your character is dead or your building is destroyed. If any of your characters take 1 damage, that reduces what they can do. There's a set of phases. I'm going to look those up so I don't get them wrong. There are 7 phases that you go through. The first one is a scouting phase where you draw a card, and the scouting cards have a round number, and when you turn them over later, it'll tell you where the marauders are coming from. But the scouting cards give you an idea, so they might say the marauders are coming from the north, or they're coming from the southeast, and so you can then make your decisions of where you place your workers. But before I start, I'll kind of discuss how it all works as we go. It's probably better to see it while I'm playing. But the first thing I'm going to do is the setup. So to set up, I have to build a couple of decks. So I'm going to make a bit of space. And first of all, we do 6 rounds. And there are 4 cards for each round. As in, you pick 1 of each. You need 1 card for each round. So you basically, this is your randomness. One thing people might like is that there is no dice. So you're not rolling any dice. You make decisions. There's still randomness, but there's no dice to muck things up. So we need to do 6 rounds. So we sort them by round number. We give them, I think I'll go from the bottom, give them a shuffle. So this is round 6. Give them a bit of a shuffle and grab, that's my round 6. And then I have a round 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So every game is going to be different because you've randomized what's coming out per round. We'll stick that up there. The next thing we have to build, all these other ones go back in the box. The next thing you need to build is your scavenge decks, which you can scavenge for more resources as one of your meeple actions. The first thing you've got to do is dig out all the, each of these has either a picture of a person, or maybe a resource, or maybe a weapon, which gives you an idea of what might be in there. So when we've got piles, you can make a decision of which pile you want to go for, but they're not always accurate. So it might be a weapon, but it might be an ambush. So there's a little bit of randomness in there. Okay, so the first thing you've got to do is you pull out the 3 survivors, because they're definitely going on the board. Then you've got 5 others, so you shuffle those, and we need to make 6 piles. So we shuffle these, and we will take 1, 2, 3, which we don't know. We'll then take our survivors and then mix those in. And the idea is then you've got, So this is going to form the base of our scavenge, that as you go through a pile, you're either going to get something good or you'll get something not so good. But this guarantees that all three are on the board. So then we have a pile of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And you take the rest of your scavenge cards, give them a good shuffle. And again, this is the replayability of the game. You never know what you're going to find when you go scavenging. Okay, and then we just put 5 on each. So that's card 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm just going to count them to make sure I haven't, all the rest of the cards go back in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we've got 6. And they go on the scavenge decks. When you decide to go scavenging, you work your way through a pile. And you can stop at any time, so you can turn over a card, and if you like what's there, you can stop and go back to base, or you can press your luck and do more cards. You will only get the good one though, the survivor, if you get all the way to the bottom. But then if you get killed by marauders, then you get nothing. So there is a little bit of push your luck in that part. So our town is now built. We'll put our farm. This is our farm. Around the outside is a counter for the number of marauders that we've successfully seen off. You have to actually beat them to get points. So I've got a counter for that. And then I have the 3, you start with the basic weapons, a farm, and a workshop. Whenever you place, because you can build new buildings, so place a building, you get whatever's there as an initial resource. Which is always tricky, because sometimes you want food. I happen to like weapons. Maybe I'll go basic. I'll put a farm on the outside, I put my weapon shop in the middle. And so I've got a farm, gets me a fence, because I put it there. This one gets me a food. And the workshop gets me a knife. Is that gonna be good? Now maybe I'll put my, oh that's dangerous. Maybe I'll put my farm down there. I'm gonna have 2 knives. I like a good bit of defense, and I'm gonna arm up. So your characters have got a left hand and a right hand, and a damage in the middle. If they're not damaged, they can have a weapon in each hand. So I'm gonna put these ones here. Right, so we're set up and ready to go. So the first thing we do is round 1, we go scout. So we grab a scout card, we don't turn it over, but we read the text. Trader, watch out, I saw a marauder camp some clicks west of your compound. So they're gonna come, I'll put this to the side, we'll flip that later. They're gonna come from the west. If they come into an empty space, they will do a move, and then you resolve that. And then they'll do a move, and then you resolve that. And so that comes in more useful later when you start putting barriers in. Okay, so now we do our assignment. It is a worker placement. I am sending my drifter into the wilderness to scavenge supplies. If I can get another survivor early, 4 is better than 3. It just means I've got better options. So when you've got a survivor who isn't damaged, as in has taken no damage, you can either put 2 on the same one and flip it, so upgrade. You can put them at a middle one and get basically double the resource, so this will be 2 knives. Or you can put them in as a single, get 1 resource, but there's also a movement phase. And so you could build a knife and then move them to somewhere else. Because they're coming from the west, I'm not too bothered about that. So I think I am going to put Phoenix there to build 2 knives, because I'm not expecting them the need to move. And I am going to go for food. Food's always good, because if you get hungry, it reduces your capability. So I've done my placement. Then we do production. So I'm going to produce 2 knives. And 2 food. Because I've got someone in the scavenge area, I get to do some scavenging. So now I've got a choice. Go for a weapon. I'm going to pick the top one. I'm going to start with this one. So we'll try this one. Oh, that's the worst result I could have got. I've been ambushed. Okay, so I've been ambushed by 3 marauders. I've got a knife. And a knife, I do believe, gives me 2. Yeah, gives me, yeah. So it's a basic weapon. So I get a 2 to defend, but that's a 3. So I can either take a damage or I can lose the knife, because you have to pay for whatever the excess is. So I think I'm going to take a damage, because I might run into more unpleasantness later on. And I carry on going through. So now I take the next card on the same pile. So I'm working my way down this pile. And I found a gun, which is great, because I'm going to take that out. I'm going to equip that. So that goes into the storage, because that's your supplies of things you found. So my drifter's now got armed with a gun. And then I found a knife. So as you find things, they go in your supply. So at this point, I could exit and take what's my supply, or I could just carry on. And nothing. And food, which is good. And oh, here we go, we hit the bottom, the moment of truth, and it is nothing. It would have been so good to get a survivor. Okay, so that's nothing. So at the end of that, he heads back home. He takes everything he's brought with him, goes back into supplies, which is handy. Right, now we do fortification in preparation of the Marauders' attack. So I'm going to take a knife and give that to Phoenix. In fact, I'm going to give them 2 knives, because I've got plenty of knives. Everyone has to get fed, so, or they'll go hungry, so I'm going to give them 3 food. And we're in a good position. He's not doing anything, but he held on to the gun. And now we do defend Marauder attack. So we flip over round 1 card, and we've got 7 Marauders. So 7 Marauders, they will then carry on through. So they will move to the closest, and if there's a choice, they will go the least defended. And now it's Phoenix with 2 knives versus 7 Marauders. So I'm just going to look this up because I don't want to get the numbers wrong. So 2 basic weapons gives a power of 3, which isn't great. So it's 3 versus 7. To fend off this attack, I'm going to have to take 4 damage of some kind. So what I can do though, I can burn through my weapons. So I'm going to burn through 2 weapons. And then I'm going to take 1 damage to the building. And 1 damage to Phoenix. And that gets me my 7. That means I have defended but not defeated. So I don't get any Marauder points. I'd have to, if we'd both been there, that would have been more successful. But then if they'd come this way, they might have destroyed my farm. Okay, so then we go to the recovery phase. Everyone comes off. And I think I can re-juggle weapons. Just a second. It's always good to not cheat in the first round. Yeah, I can trade weapons. Okay, so yeah. No, I think I'll stay where we are, because Phoenix can only hold 1 weapon anyway. So we go to the next round. So that's round 1 done. round 2. We grab a card, we scout. They're going to be coming from the northwest. Northwest, so that's that corner, so they're coming in that way. Okay, I'm going to send... Why don't I send Gunner? Can go scavenging with his 2 knives. Drifter is going to go... Really need some food. And if they're going to come that way, I really want them both in the same place, but they're damaged, so that's not going to help. Okay, they're deployed. So this is where it would have been really helpful to have got a extra survivor. Okay, so that's action done. Now we do production. Because we're injured, the most we can do is get another knife, and we'll get a food. I think we're going to die miserably. Then we'll go scouting. I'm going to scout this one just for simple, and it is nothing. Nothing. Oh, ambush. He's got 2 knives, so I'm pretty sure we're good to go, because that gives us a 3, and so we can take out all 3 of them. You don't have to do anything. We found a knife. We really need to find food. Oh, 3 knives. I'm overflowing with cutlery. And the last one is survivor. Excellent. So you got survivor cards. I'm going to take the middle one at random, and I'm going to have Ratchet, who comes with a knife. Something I don't need. Anyway, so Ratchet is going to be ready for next round. Gunner can come back with his arsenal of knives. Then we do, where are we? We are scavenging bag with fortification. Everyone has to be fed. And so I've got 2 food and 4 people to feed. So 2 people are going to be hungry. I think I'm going to grift it, and they're already damaged. So you get a hungry token. If you get a second hunger token, it becomes you lose a health and you lose your hunger. And if you get 3 health, you're dead. But they're already damaged, and I guess we'll give them a knife and see how we go. So that's that done. Defense. So we flip over our round 2 card. 9, which it's a lot. So they're going to come there, then they're going to move. And so one of the things you can do with defense is, if you've got some barricades, you can put barricades up. And so if I'd had a barricade there, they would lose someone to the barricade, and they'd whittle them down before they get there. So I'm probably playing it very badly, and I'm probably going to die horribly. Anyway, all 9 of them end up at the basic weapons shop against Phoenix. I did that wrong, didn't I? Drifter's got the gun. So it's Phoenix with a knife. So that's 9 versus 2. So I've got to find 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Phoenix is dead. 5. Weapon shop's destroyed. And then I've still got 2 left. Okay. Then they would go to the one that's least defended. So they'd go to the basic workshop. and do 2 damage. So 2 damage to that already. So round 2, and I am not in a good place. Poor Phoenix, she died. Okay, so now we do recovery. Guns. Knives for everyone. I've got so many knives. And end round. Round 3. Okay, round 3. Dogs have led us to the south to the enemy camp. So they're going to come from the south. So it probably means they're going to hit the farm. And now I'm in dire straits because I can't build. You have to upgrade something to build. And I've got no way of getting food. I could double down. Why don't we do that? Oh, I should have pulled back off. Okay, so Ratchet and are going to go into the double. Why don't we go all in? And hope they don't. If they head there though, they'll destroy the workshop. Okay, I'm going to put Drifter in the workshop. He's a bit sad. He might die. Okay. That's action phase. Production phase. Because we had 2 healthy people, meeples, we can flip that. So we have an upgraded farm, but the thing that it unlocks is the build. What did I lose here? Because I'm going to run out of weapons. So that's great. We've also got 1 barrier. We didn't send anyone into the city, so we're not scavenging. Fortification. So this is a tricky one. I'm going to throw it here because at least that will chip away if they come from the south that way. No one else can have more weapons. Drifter's got a gun. Let's see what happens. Ooh, 4, 4, and 4. So we'll play this. 1, 2. Four. So I'm quite lucky that I played the barricade. If I hadn't played the barricade, they would just gone cruising straight through. Because I played the barricade, that blocks them in the move phase for marauders. These guys aren't blocked, so they will go to the closest one, which is here. So we're going to end up with 8 attacking our farm. These 4, the barricade will take out 1. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, then we'll do this and then we'll see where they are going to end up. So now we've got 8 attacking our farm, but we've got Gunner with 2 knives, so that's 3. Ratchet with 2 knives, which is also 3. So that gives me 6. So if they both sacrifice a weapon, we defeat them. Well, we push them back. We don't get any points because we didn't overwhelm them. So this is where upgrading the weapons factory and getting guns would have been good. Okay, so that's the first round of Marauders done, because this lot here now will not go to the farm because that's too well defended. They're going to try and destroy the workshop. So those 3 would go there, and we've got Drifter with his gun. And our gun is an advanced weapon, does 4 power. So he shoots all 4 of them, 3 of those. So I actually get 3 points. Hey! A gun is a one-off, so that gets burnt. So that's gone. But we've got some points, and he didn't die. And we've got upgrades. So all in all, we survived round 3. Okay, so I'm just going back to my turn sequence. Then it's recovery. Did I feed it? I do. I'm wondering whether I did the food or not. I think I skipped the food phase. I'm going to carry on because I'm probably going to die anyway. But hey, for those of you that are shouting at the video, you forgot to feed them. Yeah, I probably did. Anyway, round 4. Southeast. So they're going to come from here, which means they're going to target the workshop probably. So now I've got a decision. Why don't I'm going to, at the end of that round, I would have given everyone a new knife when we did the recovery phase. I really need more stuff, so I'm going to scavenge. Ratchet's going in. We need food. And then Drifter's going to do his defense again with 1 knife this time, so that's not great. But it is what it is. Okay, so that's done. We do production, so we're going to get 3 food. And we're going to get 1 barrier. And then we get scavenge. I don't really need knives, I need resource, so I'm going to do this one. 2 fences. That's 2 barricades, that's great, so that goes there. Repair, that will be handy. And nothing. And nothing. 2 more repairs. Oops, I put them in the wrong place. That's cheating. Oh, and the person is nothing. So that means out of here, we've definitely got 2 more survivors. Anyway, Ratchet did a good job, comes back, brings a whole lot of stuff. Then we do fortification. Pretty sure I can do repairs here too. I'm just going to check that because that would be very handy. Feed, oh, I've got to feed. Not going to forget it this round. There we go. They're all fed. Okay. What was I doing? Fortification. Feed. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take your weapon tokens, discard meds, barricades, and repairs. So I can do repairs. So I'm going to chuck out 2 repairs and get my workshop back online, which is great. Barricades. If they're coming from the southeast, I'm going to throw them all in. All or nothing. All or nothing. What's going to happen with Gunner? He's alright, he's in a good position. He'll be fine. Or should I give him 1? But then they go up and have a go at the workshop. No, I'm going to do that. Okay, we're fortified. Then it is defense time. Wow. Oh, 8 and 7. So I had 7 here. And I've got 8 here. And I've got 7 here. Southeast. Puh. Okay, so these 3 will take out 3. It's got 5 left. I think I'm going to lose my workshop, but then I've got 7 up there, and I've got Drifter with a knife, which I think is only worth 2. Wish it was worth 3. Yeah, it's only worth 2. So he's got to find 5. So 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. He's dead too. It's either that or lose the workshop. Okay. But then those 5 I'm going to go for the farm because there's a guy there with 2 knives. So they'll go up to the workshop. They'll do 1, so then they go down to a 4. And that's my workshop gone. And those 4 will then go scooting along, and they will have a go at the upgraded farm. Gunner's got 2 knives, which gives him a 3, I do believe. Yep. So he's still going to have to discard a knife to fend them off, but because it was a defense rather than a overwhelming thing, I get no points. And we then, so I'm in dire straits now. I got a farm. I guess that pays me back for cheating with the food previous round. Okay, scouting phase. Well, at least I made it to round 5. You've only got to get to the end of round 6 with 1 building and 1 person left to get to the scoring phase, which would be pitiful at the moment, but it would still be a win. So we're going to give it a go. So we saw marauders in the west of their compound. That's over there. So there's no point scavenging really in the last round because there's no real advantage. So we might as well do that now. And he might as well just go with food because there's not much else he can do. So he's going to produce 3 food. And Ratchet is going to go for this one. Tools, which I can't use. Nothing. Ambush, but he's got 2 knives, so they're done. Oh, now there's 4, so that's going to cost me a knife. Or I take a damage. No, I'll lose a knife because I might find something else. Oh yeah, that should have gone in there. 2 meds, which could have been handy previously. Oops, wrong pile. Oh, and the last one. Hey, another survivor, and we get Jericho. He comes with some extras. Okay. Fortify. Well, Gunner gets an extra knife. So where are they coming from? They're coming from the west. So they will, when they move, I do believe they move they will move to the closest building orthogonally. So it's not that they step through, so it's anywhere on the west, they'll all end up at the farm at the same time. Pretty sure they don't. I'm just going to check that again. I don't think they move 1 block and then you combat them. Yeah, so they're all going to end up at the farm. So I might as well fortify the farm and hope for the best. We're only going to survive the next round. Okay, so I think we're dead because we've got 5 there, and then we're going to get 7, and then we're going to get 6. They're going to come down from the top. This is the problem of losing the farm. So barricade will get rid of 1. Then he's going to do 3 damage and loses both his weapons. That'll get rid of another 5. Then he takes 3 damage and dies. 2, 3, and then the building takes 3 damage and is gone, and there's still 2 left. And there we go, I died round 5. So give or take a couple of mistakes. Hope you got a feeling. It is an interesting game. It's hard. It can be determined by successful scavenging. That can make things easier, but you really do have to make decisions in terms of do you sacrifice health early on and get hungry people to upgrade? And I think that's my mistake. When I've been more successful in this game, I've done upgrades very early. Everyone gets hungry, but you can kind of balance that if you scavenge, or if you kind of go slowly and try and be nice, you end up dying. And sometimes you've got to sacrifice. So I've got a lot of stuff at the end. They would have gone, so I forgot that again. Otherwise, really good fun. Post-apocalyptic mayhem. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and like.